Okay, so up to the last meeting, we have discussed what is a string. We have discussed some of the string operations, and we have also discussed some of the built-in functions that are available as part of Python string class. We have also started with the discussion on string comparison. Today's discussion will be focused on this string comparison in a more elaborative way. We will be discussing with some example and one practical scenario where it is, string comparison is actually an important tool or an important feature that is needed. Along with that, we'll be discussing comments. So string comparison, as we started in the last class, all the comparison operators are also applicable for comparing two strings as well, like equals to, not equals to, less than, greater than, and so on. All these 6 operators are actually applicable to compare two strings as well. As we have discussed, all these operators takes 2 operands. Operators take 2 operands. So we need to provide 2 strings in both sides, and then it will be actually comparing based on the operator whether you are applying this double equals to or say less than equals to or anything, any other string of this kind of comparison operators. It will be returning either true or false based on the value stored in those strings. We have also discussed that the comparison is based on the lexicographical order. That is, in the lexicographical order is basically the dictionary. And B comes before C. And I'm online, right?
Yes.
On.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot. So lexicographical order is basically the dictionary order. We know that, from dictionary, we know that A will be occurring before B, B will be occurring before C, and so on. So based on this string, based on this lexicographical order, strings can be considered whether one string is less than another string or greater than another string or not. So let's write some programs. Let's consider we have 2 strings, S1 and S2. S1 with capital C and S2 is cheese with small c. Now, if I print S1 equals to S2, that is, I want to compare whether this S1 and S2 are same or not, I will be getting false. Why? Because cheese with capital C and small c are not actually same. Now, from the previous, from the discussion on case folding or converting a string into all lower or all upper, how can we actually compare them and get a true result? That is, in which case S1 will be equals to 2, provided we will not be changing the value stored in S1 and S2. The answer is simple. We can just apply this S dot or the string dot lower in both the strings. In that case, it will be true. Another is apply upper in both the strings. It will be true. But if we only compare them like S1 and S2 here, it will not be giving us the same, it will not be providing us with a true value if we compare them. If we compare basically if we check whether they are storing the same value or not. Okay, so now let's consider which string is basically greater than which string. So if I want to check that, if I do this, so it is basically I want to check whether S1 will be occurring before S2 in the dictionary or not? Now, can someone guess what will be the output of this? So, in simple word or in simple English, the equivalent statement will be, I want to check whether cheese with capital C is actually occurring before cheese with small c or not. Or in simple, okay, let's try to answer that. Then we will be deriving another question out of it. Can someone guess the answer? Anyone? Okay, so capital C is actually occurring before small c. So if I execute this, you can see before means, as I have said, the capital letters capital A to capital Z are associated with the Unicode value 65 to 90, and small a to small z is associated with the corresponding ASCII Unicode values are from 97 to 122. So that means this basically, the ASCII value of capital C is 67, and the ASCII value or Unicode value, in this case, for case of Python, it is basically the Unicode value. For English, the ASCII value and the Unicode values are the same. So the Unicode value of small c is basically 99. So 67. So C is basically, if I write it here, capital C is basically 67, and small c is basically 99. Now we are, if we are doing this, as we can see that the rest of the 5 characters in this string are same, what we are doing is we are essentially checking if C is greater than small c or not, isn't it? Because we know that the rest of the strings are kind of same. And not kind of same, it's exactly the same. So here, which is again equivalent to, if we just check it, if we just consider the corresponding Unicode values, we are essentially, what we are doing is we are checking whether 67 is greater than 99 or not, right? Again, just to recap, this statement is equivalent to checking whether capital C is greater than small c or not. So here, greater than means basically whether the first occurrence. So generally, if we compare A with B, this means I want to check whether A is occurring after B in the dictionary order or not. Again, here what I am checking is whether capital C is occurring after small c in the dictionary or not. Now, as we know, this false result here. Now, let's kind of change this S1 and S2 here, and let's check the corresponding outputs as well. Now, let's make cheese to say cheesecake, and this is cheese again. Still, it will be giving us the same result. It will be giving us the false result similarly. And if we kind of make this, it doesn't matter how long the string is, it will be still giving us the result based on the first non-overlapping character. Now, let's try to change it. So let's change it like this. S1 is cheesecake, only the C with cheese is capital and all rest of the characters are in small. For S2, there are 2 capital characters. One is the C with cheese and another is the C with cake. Note that there is no space in between. Now, if I execute this, and if I execute this, what will be the output? So by this statement, what I want to do is, I want to check whether S1, that is cheesecake with capital C and small c with associated with cake, capital C associated with cheese, whether this is occurring after this in the dictionary or not. So can someone guess what will be the output? It is an easy one. Come on, at least make a guess. Anyone? I mean, the result will be either true or false. You can make a guess, right?
So it will be false.
It will be false. Why?
Because they are, I mean, S1 is greater than
S1 is greater than
smaller
S2.
than S2. Yeah.
So this is, as I have said, if we just exclude the overlapping thing, so this is essentially we are comparing cake with small c with cake with capital C, right? Now, essentially what we are doing is we are comparing, so by this we are comparing whether cake is greater than cake or not. So now we know that this is actually occurring before this. Why? Because again, if we kind of derive down to the very core of it, it is basically comparing whether C is greater than capital C or not, because rest of the characters are same, right? So small c, as we know, the small c is 99 and capital C is 67. So in this case, what will be the output? It is actually true. You get the point, right? So here, in this case, if I look at the dictionary, S2 will be occurring before S1. Simple word, if I say, if I put apple, let's keep it like this here. Let's declare another variable. I mean, let's redefine the same variable, say apple, and S2, say cherry. We know that apple is occurring before cherry. Now, if I compare them, if I compare the value of S1 and S2, so we know S1 is basically occurring before cherry. So this will be false. And if we do this, it will be true. So you get the point, right now?
Yes, hello.
Up to this. Yes, please.
Yeah. So if we reverse it, I mean, if S1 is cherry and S2 is apple, then what will be the output?
If sorry, please repeat.
If I can reverse it, that is, if S2 is apple and S1 is cherry.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially changing this value, right?
Yes, but
okay. Let's just, I mean, just to show you, apple and cherry, right?
Yeah.
Now, apple, we know apple is occurring before cherry. So if we just compare them, it will be greater than this. So in this case, it will be what? S1 is containing a value which is greater than S2, because S2 is apple.
Yes.
So it will be false. Sorry, I haven't executed it. So it will be false.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Any question regarding this string comparison? Yes,
so
please.
Here, hello.
Yes, please, go ahead.
So here, actually, I mean, what I am giving at first, it is taking it is taking greater.
No, not actually. So the value that you are storing is actually essential.
Okay.
So something like, so just to give you a small example, if you give Z and A, so we know Z, capital Z, is having an ASCII value or Unicode value, the associated Unicode value is 90 and it is 65, right? Capital A is 65. Now, if you compare, it will be based on the Unicode values. That's it.
Yes, but for multiple, I mean, they will just sum it up.
Not actually sum it up. It will be, as I said, it will be considered based on the first non-overlapping character. In this case, if I write anything after this, and if I write anything after this, it is in multiple characters. I mean, the strings with multiple characters, right?
Yes.
The first character will be actually defining whether S1 is greater than S2 or not, because the
Okay.
first one is basically the non-overlapping.
Yes.
The overlapping, as the case here, this cheese and this cheese are same. So the first non-overlapping character is this, small c, capital C. Now we know that small c is greater than capital C. That's why here S1 will be occurring, S1 will be basically occurring after S2 in the dictionary order. That is, S1 will be having a higher value. That's why S1 will be greater than S2. Okay?